Owner operator challenges in today's market, man, they just come in all day shapes and sizes, from insurance to the latest and greatest IRPs. But our job here is to actually inform owner operators on how to improve their business and keep trucking, right? So this may serve some people, may not serve other people. It's just so you know.
It just depends what you know and what you don't know, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So some of the things that are challenges are insurance out there, man. A big thing about guys renewing their insurance and just the cost of it, and can they even manage that cost?
Well, I think it's every new carrier. I guess it's a high risk for a insurance company,
Yeah.
and you gotta. It takes a lot of trial and error attempts before you learn how to handle the insurance, how to deal with insurance, because it's extremely high risk business to insurance for
Yeah.
trucking, with potential extreme losses, because you're driving this big equipment all over the place, and there are a lot of bad claims.
No, I know, and then I get calls all the time, and sometimes guys are under the impression that because you run Florida only, let's say, that the price of that insurance is going to be a lot cheaper and a lot more affordable.
And not to offend somebody who is in that bad situation, but just to be realistic, there are a couple of problems with that. Because number one, the risk for insurance company, just because you run only Florida, is actually greater than if you run 48 states. Because Florida is a very, very high risk state, especially if you're from South Florida. You literally live in a black hole.
Yeah. It's because even in this situation, I guess it's like the perfect storm, man. Like, and if people have suggestions for the guy, always positive comments below. That's always appreciated. But going through, he let one lapse. Actually, was able to get insurance again, and now it's up for that renewal, and it's spiking. But he also has an open. There's an accident with a potential. Like obviously 3 days before the final day of doing anything about it, boom, file a lawsuit. So now in his mind, it's a fender bender, but we know how that goes.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, you guys all see like those billboards that says, "Got hit by a big rig. Give us a call. By the people, for the people."
No, man. Like we know, no one got hurt, man. It's a fender bender, but that could easily translate into $100,000.
Absolutely,
Payout,
because or more, because there are a lot of fraud out there, a lot of non-injury injuries, and so on.
And so then that's loss runs on him for his renewal.
Yeah. So now, if you look at it, is he like one man owner operator type of, like one man, his own authority?
One man show, yes, sir.
Yeah. So now for insurance, as we look at it, as we look at the loss runs, it's 1 out of 1. So it's 100% of accident ratio. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, because I guess accidents do happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think both things put together, actually 3 things put together, Florida only, accident, apparently with a lawsuit. So it's not just an accident with like zero payout or a couple $1,000 payout.
It's not, yeah.
It's a major accident because, the legal fees, everything else is covered by insurance. So if we're talking about $100,000 or something, there is a chance that that whole thing actually costed like $200,000.
Yep.
So now it's that. On top of that, lapsing, allowing the insurance to lapse. That's a huge deal. As a matter of fact, I would argue it may be even slightly bigger deal than a single accident.
Okay.
Because no insurance likes any lapses. I think it extends even to like regular car insurance. Nobody likes lapsing insurance, and it shows your instability, and everything just rolls down from there.
So there you go. These are big challenges, guys. We just share, we share so that guys can pay attention and possibly help yourself before you actually get into a situation like that. So if you're actually out there thinking of just like, hey man, let me let my insurance lapse and I'll figure it out a little bit later. If you are going to come back to that, maybe that's not the best move to make at the moment. I'm sure there's a proper way to close it, and
Well, the reality is pretty rough. If you properly close it and then reopen it, it's gonna be an uphill battle for the next like couple of years.
Man.
in terms of insurance cost and your ability to get a quote. Depends on where you live, what your record is, what equipment do you have, where do you run, where do you store the truck, and then if there is a gap, it's always going to be looked at as a suspicious activity.
Here we go. So that's one of the things. Another thing trending right now in the trucking market, man, especially in Florida, is plate renewals. For whatever reason, Florida, basically the Florida Department of Highway Safety has changed their processes. And I did a little recon work. I actually, headed out into the field and did interviewed some people that update IRPs, and they do this day in and day out. So apparently what they did is they updated their system, and but all the imaging never imaged up to the new system.
That's our government money at work.
So there's a couple of things that are the problems that are going to come with that is that they're not consistent problems. For some people it did, for other people it didn't, and so everybody's it's kind of give and go. Some people are going to be quicker than others, and now that's the chaos. Imagine the chaos that comes with that. So my takeaway is this: to try to help you guys out on a renewal. Even though it's a renewal, guys, it's going to take some time because you're going to have to show documentation as if it was an original filing. The reason they're looking for that is because the imaging was lost or misplaced or whatever you want to call it. But that's why your renewal is going to be different. So I got some of my own guys that are actually renewing at the end of the month in September. And we're already planning for that and getting our ducks in order. So I suggest you do the same so you don't find yourself in a tight spot. So again, when you're going to renew, you're going to have to furnish the copy of the title. All right. You're going to have to reprove your 3 proofs of residence. You're going to have to do the attached record agreement again. Obviously show the insurance with the PIP. That's as normal. If you have an out-of-state title, copy of that title, VIN verification, along with the lease that you have for that. And also another thing that they're looking at is, before they really didn't pay too much attention to it, but now they want to know if you're running under somebody else's authority, they want to make sure that DOT and tax ID number are jiving and that you have the lease agreement with that in the insurance. So they want to make sure that that's up to date. There's before I would see guys get renewal, or they would even start working here with the old carrier responsible for safety on the registration. Not a problem. I guess they didn't care at that point, but they are starting to pay attention to that. So you definitely want to pay, stay ahead of that. Obviously, they want to see the 2290. They want a copy of the cab card, and they also want your SS4 form or your 14ZC, which is just the letter that you got your tax ID number. Those are the only 2 forms of documentation that they're going to use in order to prove your EIN. They won't take anything else, guys. So I know.
Just to clarify, avoid some confusion. 14ZC, 147C.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, 147C. So
saved you a trip to Tallahassee.
Something's wrong with these things. I gotta go get checked. But nevertheless, guys, pay attention to that. They want absolutely no pictures. They don't care about any of that. And I know those forms. If you started your company 3 years ago and you misplaced that, your only option, go to IRS, make an appointment and ask for that letter. Get it ahead of time, guys, before you get caught up and end up with no renewal.
Can't you get the copy online?
No, you cannot. No.
Son of a bitch. Something as silly as that you can get literally in 5 minutes?
Yeah, you can't.
You cannot get the copy online, man.
And if you call and you're on the hold for 3 hours to just find out
No, with IRS, you're going to be on hold for 12 hours.
Yeah, it's a problem, man. So believe me, I've been down all those roads. The easiest way, just head down to the IRS office and just ask them for that. Quickest way.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's this one there. Just pay attention because this is trending. Another thing, man, they're actually suspending people for 18 months straight. They won't give you access to an apportioned tag. You're gonna have to drop to a base. And the reason they're doing that is for the guys that let's say they just let their IRP account just left it alone, didn't close it, didn't do any of that. The punishment is that. Another thing that they're doing is if you renew after your expiration date, they're not prorating anything. So let's say, you expired in August.
So we're still going to count from August.
Yeah.
Even if you start in January.
Yeah. Yep. They're not prorating any of that anymore. So they're really, really paying attention to all of that good stuff. So I guess it just got complicated, right?
Yeah, because I think the way the plates are being calculated, I mean, the first year you just get like estimated mileage. And then the second year you go off your first year's mileage. The third year you go off the second year's mileage.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that gap, I'm not an economist, I'm not a tax person, but my opinion about this thing is because you're sort of paying for your bill for your mileage way back a year ago.
Yeah.
You kind of by not renewing your IRP, you are avoiding the current charge for your latest mileage.
Yep.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not a fact, it's just my speculation, but I think it probably has something to do with the way the IRP is calculated. And that's most likely the thing.
Yeah, because remember, that 18-month suspension is going to be if you allow the state to close you. That's going to be the problem.
Yeah,
where you just ignore it and you hope it goes away.
Because you're going to end up under-reporting the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're always a year behind.
Yeah, some of the things that'll stop the process too that they're paying attention is toll violations. So some toll violations out there, and it could be problematic. Then you got to clear that up. Send a letter to email Tallahassee when they get a chance to get around to it. So these are just small things that are going to affect your renewal, guys. Just putting it out there. Pay attention. Some of those guys that let's say have an IFTA, right, and then they lease onto a carrier. What happens is they'll start using the carrier IFTA, but they never close their IFTA. So the problem lies if you don't check that box that says this is my final filing. Those guys at IFTA are thinking you're still running and you're just not filing. They don't have a crystal ball to know you're running under Voyager or whoever. They're just thinking you haven't filed for 2 straight quarters, and now your renewal is your IRP is gonna be suspended until you address that.
And very likely, like in different states, like I remember back in the day in Illinois, you can actually get the bond required.
Oh, there you go.
So if you failed with your IFTA, because I had a couple of friends that kind of fell behind the same way and didn't file a few quarters, and now to reinstate, once it's closed, to reinstate the IFTA, if it wasn't closed properly, now it's like $1,000 bond.
Man. Okay, here you go.
So here we go. I mean, they just spending too much money need to collect some.
Sometimes this back office stuff it catches up. Like I have this guy, right? He called this morning. First call of the day, man. Just helping this guy out. He's from Fort Lauderdale. He actually bought 5 box trucks. We don't do any of the box truck stuff, but we try to help where we can, right? So he's buying 5 trucks in Georgia, and he's down here, and he's like, man, I cannot get registrations. I'm like, all right, so we start getting through it. So he actually went down and tried to get a registration, but these people are not, they told him we're a titled state, but they're not letting him know that, hey, you have to take the bill of sale, that old title. Let's get the titles first, and then we can register. So that would be the process. But the problem that he's going to get hit is when he's going to try to make that a Florida title. That's right, taxes, 6% per truck. So that's going to be a nice, it's not going to be a good day for him.
As a matter of fact, guys, actually, Florida, there is a Florida Trucking Association, and we really, putting their money where our mouth is, and we fighting that sales tax.
Really, that'd be pretty sweet.
On
if they go
the
in
commercial equipment, because Florida is extremely not competitive between other states, because states compete for economy and so on, for business, and for this specific item, it's a big deal, and we're fighting hard for it. So if you're a small carrier or whatever, consider joining. I don't know, I think it's like 500. It starts at like $500 a year, but your money goes to a good place.
Yeah, because other states have that, that exemption available to you.
Yeah, absolutely, and like again, different states we have different challenges. I had a chance to talk to some of my old friends from Illinois, and man, like IRP, actually, it was already complicated.
It always is, man.
But it just got a lot more complicated. And like, for example, states like Indiana, man, easy. You just go online, pay, print, and move on.
Yeah.
So amazing, right? 2 states, Illinois, Indiana, next to each other. But the IRP process is so different, and it can be like so complicated, to where it's crazy.
Yeah. So hey, that's what we do. You know, it's crazy because even this guy with the box truck, right? The guy who sold him the trucks, he don't care, man. He just want to roll that metal and get off the lot. And
He may not even know. I mean, it's strange if the guy from Georgia doesn't know what's going on in Florida. I get it, like somebody in California
no, well,
not
listen,
knowing what's going on in Florida. But
okay, so if he doesn't know, would he, or let's say he doesn't tell him, now what? And the guy's just gonna go, you know what, man? I'm gonna go buy that box truck in Florida itself. I mean, either way, you're gonna pay the tax, right? So
yeah,
6 times 5, 30 G is just right there.
here we go. And and I don't think we're gonna do a payment plan.
No.
That's a challenge. But actually, if you would buy it in Florida, the sales tax would be probably included in the whole finance agreement, and you can break it up. You can break it up through your finance period. So, it's a lose-lose, but it's easier to lose $30,000 over a period of like 3, 4, whatever years than
24 hours.
You just put a down payment somewhere else. Let's say if you financed it or you paid cash, and now you think you're just going to start the business, and now you're learning that, oh no, you need another 30,000 to do anything.
Yeah, because now it's worse. Now, I don't know, man. You can mess with that monthly payment, this, that, the other. Right now, you don't do anything. You don't have 30 G's to pay those taxes right now. You can't even pick up a truck.
Here we go. So that's a little problematic.
That's trucking for you.
Yeah. Or you can move to Georgia.
Okay.
Problem solved. But I don't know how that works because, like, technically, if you bought it as a Florida resident.
Yeah, man. Like,
again, this is not legal advice. We're just kicking shit.
Yeah. Just sharing experiences of other people, just in case you find yourself in it. At least it maybe gives you a little bit direction, or maybe you're more confused now. You're welcome.
Yeah, and those of you that know everything, congratulations. You already know it. But this is just sharing the information with people that are looking for information, that are hungry for information, that are looking for ways to improve their life and business, and stay healthy in this transportation industry.
All right. So if you have any ideas or any experiences that may help other people, please drop the comments below. We'd love to make a video about that.
Yeah, please like, share, comment, and tell us your story in the comments. And if that's something worth sharing wider, we'll do a video about it, and we'll go from there.
All right, guys. Be safe and drive safe out there.
All right. Take care, guys.